Hi, I'm Kim DeWitt-Paff, and I'm the owner of Diamonds and Rust Vintage, located in beautiful, historic downtown Brooksville, Florida. Diamonds and Rust is located inside Street Home Decor, downtown in Brooksville, right across from the courthouse. I started collecting vintage jewelry as a teenager. I made my own clothes. A lot of times I made my own accessories, and I would get vintage jewelry as well. But when I went to college, I studied art, fine art, and I have a degree in jewelry construction and handmade pottery. Here at Diamonds and Rust, I have a wide variety of jewelry. I have everything from $5, which I have a wonderful place that a lot of people love to go first. They go to the dig box. Anything in the 3 dig boxes is $5. And I have things all the way up to $5,000. And I have a little bit of everything in between. I have handmade jewelry. I have vintage jewelry. I have designer. I have couture. And I have antique jewelry, antique and period jewelry as well. I take consignments. And I also buy, it just depends on what the pieces are. I also take donations because I help do workshops with kids, and I do jewelry lectures. I talk to people and show them how to do things, and I save it to do restorations. I have all different types of designers. I have handmade designer pieces by Chris Crouch, who is the owner and designer and maker artist at Moans Couture. His pieces are all handmade in the United States. He hand solders the metal cups together. He hand sets the rhinestones. He plates them himself, and he does everything himself. Some of the pieces are one of a kind. Some of them are limited run. He does all the jewelry for the Alamo Queen in Texas. He does her tiara, her crowns, her scepters, and all of the jewelry for the court. He does a lot of jewelry for Mardi Gras cruise, and the newest thing that he's doing for us is he's created a Buccaneer brooch for Gasparilla. We have an agreement with Gasparilla to do a branded piece that is currently only 3 pieces in existence, but additional pieces will be added. Then I have True Vintage, which runs from post-Victorian, which would be around the turn of the century, up until the 70s and 80s. Sadly, we're calling the 70s and 80s and 90s vintage now. Some of us think that was just yesterday, but it's vintage to a lot of people. It's 50 years ago. So vintage is generally considered 20 years or 30 years or above. Then I also have Bakelite, which was an important plastic that was invented in 1909, and it was originally invented as an industrial plastic for utilitarian insulation purposes. And then World War I came and metal was short, so they started making jewelry out of the Bakelite. And I also have the Joseph of Hollywood jewelry. Joseph of Hollywood made jewelry for Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz, all the old Errol Flynn movies. And they created designs because Joseph would watch the movies and he would see jewelry that wasn't authentic to the period. And he had studied art, so he knew the jewelry that people wore in the paintings that he saw, and it was not the kind of jewelry that they were using in the movies. So he designed a line of jewelry, and he went to the movie producers and said, "Look, I can make this jewelry for you." So he made the jewelry and they loved it, because it was authentic. So it was very well known, very desirable in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And I have a very good selection of it. You probably won't see any place that has any more than this unless you go to Los Angeles. I have also stacks and stacks of trays here in the shop that are filled with things. If you don't see what you want on my shelf, because I have a smaller space, we can dig through the trays, and we love to do that too. I have a lot of clients that come in and we just pull out the trays and look at it, and I love to talk about jewelry. So one of the types of jewelry that I make are called camionas, and they're based on camionas that were made by Olive Commons. She worked at a fruit stand in the 30s and 40s, and she hand painted little porcelain discs or porcelain ovals with Florida scenes on them. And so I was inspired to create a similar version of that, and I sell them here at the shop. I have different shapes and sizes. Hers are so collectible and so desirable. I was hoping to create the same thing that her intention was, to provide a sweet little souvenir for people who came to visit Florida in the 40s and the 50s. So if you'd like more information, you can follow us on social media, or you can stop in the shop. I'd love to meet you at Diamonds and Rust, located in Easy Street Home Decor on Florida's beautiful Adventure Coast.